Hi everyone. Thank you so much for being here today at Sixfields, the home of the Shoe Army, Northampton Town. I'm Lucy Rigby, Labour's candidate for Northampton North, and I'm so proud to be here with you today ahead of the general election on the 4th of July. Now today, Monday the 24th of June, we can say that the general election, this opportunity that we have to go out there and vote and change this country for the better, we can say today that the general election is next week. And we are working so hard here in Northampton to try and ensure that all those people that talk to us across town and say that they are desperate for change, we're working so hard to try and ensure that Labour can deliver that change. Now, speaking of working hard, one of the many great things about Northampton is that we have not one, but two Labour candidates. So I'm going to hand over to my friend, our brilliant, hard-working candidate for Northampton South, Mike Reeder.
Well, welcome to Northampton South. It is amazing to see so many people here today. It shows that Labour cares and that we are listening to the people of Northampton. There are 10 days to go until the general election. That means 10 days of door knocking to speak to thousands more undecided voters and bring them back to Labour. That means there's 10 days to prove to my community in Northampton that Labour is the party of public service, and that's at the heart of our manifesto. And there's 10 days to build on the feeling of hope in our town, that with Labour, things can get better, and it is time for change. It is my honour and privilege to introduce to you all the leader of the Labour Party, Keir Starmer.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Lucy. And thank you to all of you for that fantastic welcome. You don't know what it means to me to walk out of the players' tunnel onto the pitch to applaud. It's something I've been wanting to do since I was a boy. It's fantastic to be here. A sunny day, a football pitch. What could be better? A summer of change. And this election is all about change and choice. And so whether you're a family that's been struggling under the cost of living crisis, just about making ends meet, whether you're a business that's been struggling with the damage that's been done to our economy under this government, whether you've served in uniform or your community, this election and this campaign is for you. Because the choice is really clear. The choice is really stark. We've had 14 years of chaos, of division, of failure. So one choice is to continue with that. They're not going to change. Just look at their campaign. Chaos and division and failure written all over it. They're not going to change. Or we can turn the page and rebuild the country with Labour. A huge, important, stark choice about the future of our country, about the way that we do politics. And could there be a better example of the change the country needs than the desperation over this betting story that is going around? That goes to the heart of what the Tories have become. When their first instinct in relation to a general election is not, how do I serve the country? How do I get the message out? It's how quickly can I get to the bookies and make some money? That instinct tells you everything about where this Tory party is now. It also tells you about leadership. Because these candidates should be suspended, they should be gone. If they were my candidates, they'd have been out and their feet would not have touched the ground. But Rishi Sunak is too weak to show the leadership that is needed. And his own side are now calling on him to do the right thing, but he's still too weak. And what's he done this morning? He's announced an investigation designed with one purpose, which is to knock this into long grass to the other side of the election. Any investigation should have been done a week ago and would take half an hour. Who knew? Did you place a bet? That's it. But he can't even show that basic leadership. This is weakness upon weakness, a total failure of leadership, a process only set up to try and delay the answers until after the election. And everybody but everybody can see what is happening here. So this election choice is really important. It's about the future of our country, and it's about the type of politics as we go forward. It is fantastic to be here with our Northamptonshire candidates, I hope soon, members of Parliament, brilliant people standing here to represent their communities. Standing here as candidates of a changed Labour Party that, unlike the Tories, says country comes first and party comes second. And we have real ambition for our country, real ambition to rebuild and take our country forward. But, and there's always a but in a Labour Party speech, but we have got to go the extra yards. The last mile is always the hardest. We've got to earn every vote. We've got to appreciate that every single fight is in every single constituency, and the margins are tight. Nobody should think that polls predict the future. We have to fight for every vote. We have to earn every vote, particularly in the constituencies here. And so I say to everybody who's here today, thank you so much for all the work that you've already done in this campaign. Thank you for everything you will do, because we have to fight for every single vote. Nothing is over until Thursday week, 10 p.m. And there'll be fights in every constituency that matter to each constituency. And the prize is huge. Northamptonshire. If we win, we have Labour MPs sitting in a Labour government delivering real change. That's the prize. So we have to go out there, make the positive case. What are the first things that we will do in government? Day one, those first steps, particularly in relation to the NHS, 40,000 extra appointments each and every week to bring the waiting list down. The teachers that we need to recruit for our state secondary schools so that every teacher, every child, wherever they come from, whatever their background, can have the same opportunities. The recruiting of 13,000 neighbourhood police. Setting up GB Energy, which will bring our prices down and give us energy security. Giving us the skills that we need for the future. Setting up our border security command. These are the things that we will be getting on with on day one, the first step, the down payment. Only the first steps towards much bigger change for our country. But as we go into these final days, knowing that we have to secure every vote, we must also remind people of the alternative, which is 5 more years of the Tories. 5 more years of the party that has delivered nothing but failure, that won't change. On the contrary, 5 more years they'll feel emboldened to go further, to drive in their culture that politics is about self-aggrandizement, self-advance, and not politics of service, which is what we believe in. So we go forward, but we also say, imagine a Labour government beginning to rebuild the country, not just putting the NHS back on its feet, but fit for the future, making sure that we have energy for the long term and the jobs that go with it, that we have the schools that will proudly give all of our children the education that we need, that we have an economy that is growing, is thriving, and making people better off across the country. So that's the choice. We have to go out, we have to fight for it, we have to fight for every vote. And we will go out and we will do that. We will campaign as we've campaigned over these last few weeks, with a smile on our face, with a confidence in the argument that we are taking to the electorate, and with a belief that we can start to turn the page to rebuild our country and return politics to service. That's the choice. Let's get out there, keep fighting. Thank you so much.